So yours is probably about a 22 degree Gemini sun. So Pluto's not there yet. Do you know if you have other planets in Gemini? Mercury, Venus?
I think I have Cancer rising or something like that, and Mars and Scorpio. I know I have that because some astrologer told me that. I don't remember what all they told me. They just said basically I was a pretty good guy.
Huh. Well, Mercury travels with the sun. You know, it only goes as far as 28 degrees apart. So it could very easily also be in Gemini. And Mercury ruling Gemini, if it were being opposed by Pluto, can be a whole transformation in the way you speak and the way you think. And can I get a close-up of David Carson? Are we going to have music?
Yes.
Okay. Can I get a close-up, please?
Switch to camera 3.
Okay, and look at me.
Okay.
Okay. Can you work without your glasses?
Yeah, I'll be pretty blurred out, but I don't really need them.
Okay. Why don't we do that? Because the glasses were making a huge.
No, I'm
Writer.
an author of medicine
writer.
cards. I'm one of the authors.
Yeah.
Cool.
And you know, we also
I just need to know what the best.
He wants to put the title underneath you.
What we're going to do is identify. This is for identifying.
just put author or co-author or something like that.
Medicine cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and do we need to contact information on them at all or not?
Do you want your phone number to go up and your website address or your email address?
You could put my email address,
Okay.
or you could put website,
Okay.
which is medicinecards.com.
Oh, medicine cards?
Medicinecards.com.
Okay.
And email is carsam, C-A-R-S-A-M-M,
.com.
at AOL.com.
AOL.com.
Great. I think it's in the back of the
So you don't
book
want
there.
your phone number up?
No.
Okay. Okay. So those
Do
are great.
most people,
It is
yeah, that looks close enough.
C-A-R-S-A-M, not S, just
Huh?
Carsam.
No, it's S-A-M-M. My wife, this is Jamie Sands, my wife named Salmons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Jamie's not his wife.
No, I know.
I can't
Okay.
find anything good. The only thing I have, the only choices I have right now that I can find is
Thank you.
as,
Tell me what.
the 10-barrel shotgun or whatever.
Or?
9-pound hammer.
Or?
Rich Angel, which is unedited, and he made a couple errors. So.
Do you mind if we have sort of a rockabilly musical break?
hey, I don't care what,
Okay.
it's your show,
9-pound hammer.
Okay.
Okay.
rock and roll.
I know. I already talked to her. Yeah. Thanks.
That's good music, rockabilly, isn't it?
They're a good group. It's just it's more high energy than we usually do on the show. I thought they were great. Okay. I was looking for the one that I was going to use. Tape shows for the summer, they'll resume next week, but David Carson's was here and we're lucky enough to have him, and I really wanted to be able to have people call in and have David take live calls. So we're here with David Carsons, and I really appreciate you showing up and
Thank
being
you.
with us.
I'm honored to be here.
Thanks. And you're the author of Medicine Cards, and
Yes, I'm one of the authors.
one of the authors. Jamie Sams is the other one.
Right.
And I'm showing this book. It's actually got an embossed design on it, but people might recognize the cards. These are different animal cards, and I was going to give a little paragraph out of the book that helps describe medicine. So again, these are the medicine cards by David Carson. And to understand the concept of medicine in the Native American way, one must redefine medicine. The medicine referred to in this book is anything that improves one's connection to the great mystery and to all of life. This would include the healing of body, mind, and of spirit. This medicine is also anything that brings personal power, strength, and understanding. It is the constant living of life in a way that brings healing to the Earth Mother and to all of our associates, family, friends, and fellow creatures. Native American medicine is an all-encompassing way of life, for it involves walking on the Earth Mother in perfect harmony with the universe. And just reading that has a grounding effect for me. And you were telling me a little bit about how these were created. This wasn't a long project.
No, it was actually the book and the cards were, well, the book was written in a week, and the cards were designed in maybe an hour, and then they were, passed on to a professional artist. But we sort of had the shields and the different animals, and we knew how we wanted them.
And now to jump ahead, you've recently added some cards.
Yes.
And alligator, blue heron,
Right.
and a couple others. Maybe there are 5 or 6 new ones?
Yes.
So if anyone bought the old version, now there's some new cards.
Now there's some new cards.
Can they get the new cards separately? Is that possible?
I've been on the hook with the publisher quite a lot about that, because a lot of people say, hey, I have this old book and I really want the new cards, and but they tell me it might be possible down the road in the future, but right now, no. And that's what the editor, this used to be a small publishing company, but they were bought by a, giant mega corporation. St. Martin's is one of the biggest. And since then, the profile, you might say, of the medicine cards has changed,
The book hasn't changed.
Well,
and the cards,
it's a little bit longer.
Because of the new cards.
Yes.
And I think the other one was a teal color, and now it's purple.
Right.
And there are the 6 new cards. But
And I am a little partial to I love this deck in any form, but I'm a little partial to the old deck because I'm so familiar with it, and this was a 10-year process getting these new cards.
Really?
And when the medicine cards hit, they hit really big, and it took a long. Then publishers were involved, an artist was involved, another author was involved. So it took a long time and a lot of people to put the new cards.
I'm just laughing because it was such a short time to put up
Yeah,
the original deck.
Yeah, it was overnight. I mean, literally.
Wow.
That we had a contract in our pocket. And,
wow. At the beginning chapters are really beautifully written with a lot of wonderful information in them, and then all the following, the bulk of the chapters are on each individual card is described, and so people can do readings for themselves or for others, and I'm going to be honored with having you do a reading for me this evening.
Sure.
Probably when we get back from the first break, which I'm
also,
pretty excited about.
Also, I'd like to say that, the medicine cards can be as simple or as complex as you want to make them, in terms of metaphysics. They really say a lot, numerologically and in many ways. They're very, I don't think we were aware of how deep that they could go.
Really? Did
And-
you specifically put the numbers with the?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we had a slight idea, but now, we've talked to a lot of numerologists, and,
Mm-hmm.
they say, wow, how did you ever decide on that? Well, it wasn't anything real conscious, but, we sort of knew, but we knew that we were on some kind of powerful ray
Well,
when we
here,
wrote these.
Let me
And-
have you pick out a card, and we'll talk about that specific card. Okay.
Okay.
So it's
What
the
I-
squirrel, and it's number 26. And why don't you turn it towards that camera? And can you tell me about that card?
Yes. Okay. Can I say that these cards are normally read in a wheel?
Right. I'm just
So-
wondering about the whole numerological thing and what you were just talking about, how the deep levels of each
Okay.
card.
Well. Okay. So if you have a squirrel
Okay.
in the east, that means that the squirrel is in the light, in the morning, in the birth, in the beginning.
Okay.
If you have a squirrel in the south, that's a squirrel in the consensus world,
Okay.
or, everyday world. Then if you have a squirrel in the west, that's the inner planes,
Okay.
the shadow self. And if you have a squirrel in the north, that's most of the time in the intellectual, or, it's telling you something about the spiritual planes. So, so it means different things, and just like like planets, how it's aspected.
Mm-hmm.
And you have cardinal and inner cardinal points, and you have the center point on a medicine wheel.
Right.
And so all those points have pretty ancient, teachings from Native America. And so squirrel basically is gathering. So let's say if you have squirrel and you put it in the south,
Mm-hmm.
then that means in the gathering in the consensus world, gathering stuff, real, real stuff. And say you had it in the west, then you're talking about your inner life. So saying you need to find and gather that kind of increment or medicine, in the inner planes.
Okay.
And most of the time they're clues on how to use this medicine. Every card in there, I mean, this is just one example of medicine, but there's every card has pretty specific medicine and meanings as it goes around the wheel.
So if this were in the West, would you recommend something like a
would
soul retrieval quest, or?
Well, it might not be that drastic,
Okay.
but it might be that you need to do your homework. Like you might, if you're an astrologer and something's going on cosmically, you might, read and study and meditate on that.
Mm-hmm.
So, remember these were real at one, these are in cards, but these are also real medicines that have been shamanized since the dawn of time. So if you could get your mind in such a way that you could journey to this animal and let it tell you this inner truth. It's not somebody else's truth, it's your truth.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense?
It does. I was just remembering an encounter with a squirrel recently.
Yeah. And squirrels are pretty crazy too, so it might mean to have some fun and,
Well, one of the things I noticed, because the squirrel and I were very much in observation of each other for a while.
yes.
And I've always noticed, they're very shaky and almost
Kinetic.
spastic, and
Yeah.
frenetic, that's a good word. But I really noticed at this point that the hand was moving out at the beat of the heart. So to me, at that point, it felt like they were, just totally with their heart. this
Right, heart
specific
connection.
squirrel was. Yeah.
Sure.
And its offering and its withdrawal.
Remember, long time ago, Native America taught about the trees and the tree trails, and so the squirrel knows all those trails above the earth, so it can teach you a lot about how to live your life, because trees are, that's one metaphor for life.
And they said, this is going off on a little bit of a tangent, that 250 years ago, a squirrel used to be able to go all the way from the East Coast to the Mississippi by tree without ever landing on the ground if it wanted.
Yes, I've heard that. I don't know. I didn't live in those times.
Right.
But, that's a sad statement if that's true.
And I sort of want to connect that to something you were involved with recently. You just were a participant in a sun dance?
Yeah, well, I wasn't I was a participant in the sense that I was supporting.
Okay.
I had a daughter dancing, actually two daughters and a son, two grandchildren danced, and then I have little girls who you met. And they were riding on the skulls, you know, people pulling the skulls, buffalo skulls. So yeah, I was just at a sun dance.
And is this
and that's kind of my religion, you know.
Okay. Is that a healing for the earth? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you were talking about cosmic flares. Well, you know, that's a very cosmic dance. You know, where dancers are praying for all people, for the earth, and that, you know, at the center of the sun dance is the children. You know, the children, when the dance begins, this was a Lakota dance, by the way, because one of my best friends is Lakota. But, you know, a child brings in the pipe at the beginning of the dance when the tree is put up. And the children are honored all through the dance. So the center of the old native world were the children. And that's the way it should be. In our culture, it isn't, but in my opinion.
It sounds good to me.
Yeah.
It sounds like one of the few ways we can get ourselves out of the mess we put ourselves in.
Yeah, if we look at, you know, the children and future generations, then maybe we'll make the earth a better place. Quit destroying the environment. And I don't have any big message. I mean, I tell animal stories. So, but, you know, I think that would be good for all people.
Well, it reminds me also of the, in the Rider-Waite deck and the Bota tarot decks, the sun with the child on the horse, and it all has to do with playfulness and being very alive and creative, and, you know.
I'll tell you, there was a woman at the Sundance. I don't know if she would like me saying her name, but I want to say it anyway. She was a grandmother, a holy woman, and her name was Arlene Highhorse. And when my granddaughter said they wanted to dance the last day, I went to Arlene and asked if it was okay for one day for them to dance. It was really hot. It was about 110.
Wow.
And she said, well, you don't have a pipe for them, but I tell you, I'll let your granddaughter dance with my pipe. And I said, oh, you loan out your pipe? She said, I've never ever loaned out my pipe. But I know that if a child dances with it, it's going to come back to me with power.
What's the significance of the pipe? And I should ask you, what tribe are you?
Well, I come from Oklahoma, and I come from people, you know, I'm redneck, but I'm also Indian. I do belong to a tribe, the Oklahoma Choctaw, and they came from Mississippi on the Trail of Tears to Oklahoma, and that's where I come from. Those are my roots. And although I've been hanging out with a lot of Plains Native people, I've been hanging out with. I saw an old friend who lives here in Missoula, Charlo, Mary Jane Charlo. That's the chief. Have you heard of
I haven't.
Yeah, she was related to Victorio and all the Flathead chiefs. She's a really honorable and wonderful lady. I'm just lucky to spend time with her.
Yeah. And getting back to the pipe, will the pipe have the same significance in each tribe? Or is it different for Choctaw?
Well, I have an old pipe, Choctaw pipe, and it's almost, you could say, Mayan looking.
Huh.
But I think the pipes might have changed. But basically, you know, we believe that that's our relative. We believe we're related to that pipe stone, and that it teaches us all about life. That's all we need,
Huh.
you know, to live a balanced, good way on Mother Earth. And I'm not a big proselytizer for Native American religion, but I do know that it's sweet and good and hard, difficult.
Yeah. The Sundance is difficult.
Oh, totally.
And it
A lot
was
of
4
suffering.
days?
4 days. No food, no water.
And the kids go without water too?
On the last day they did,
Yeah.
yes.
And basically that goes against Western medicine's idea that you can't live that long without water, and certainly not in that heat. What is it? I mean, that's
Well,
a
they have,
demonstration of spirit maintaining
Well, they
you?
have whistles, you know, eagle bone, that they can take spirit water. And, I don't, you believe in science so much, you know?
No, but it's just the common, the dominant paradigm. And so I just wanted to.
Certainly is.
Yeah.
Scary one, isn't it?
Very. It's a baby. It's a baby with a big voice. So, how long have these been out, the medicine cards?
I think the copyright date's in there, but I'm just guessing around 12 years.
Seems like I saw it around 90, 10
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm as impressed now as I was then. Back then they were very new and very different, and now they're very much like...
They're old hat.
Yeah. And
Pop culture now.
And how would you describe these? You can use them as divinatory tools, as you would possibly with tarot deck. They aren't the same number. I think they're, what, 54 now? 52?
There's 44, there's 52 now.
52 now. Black Panther being the last one.
Mm-hmm.
I should show this one. For people that haven't seen the new deck, these are pretty nice illustrations, the new ones.
It's Angela Warnicki did the same artist
same
that did them
artist?
before, yeah. She's really great.
They looked very similar. I saw a slight difference in style, but it's 12 years later, so. But they're very beautiful, and the alligator to me almost seems like it's coming off of the card.
That's an old medicine, old
Yeah.
person, the alligator. Goes back many centuries and has many teachings. You were in Louisiana. Actually, I was there with Lizzie and Maggie, my little girls, and we went out with this guy, Half Pint, out in the swamps. And we were playing with the little baby alligators. And but if you break an alligator tooth, it will grow back.
Mm-hmm.
So it has a great regenerative power.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times people would, wear that tooth to get healthy and strong, regenerate themselves.
Now, I know you're not as familiar with the new cards, but could you describe what the bottom of the shield is?
Well, there's a heron, and that's like self-reflection. That's the medicine of that.
Okay.
Truth, the coral is red, you must know all the stone stuff. Coral is like the blood, it's real protection from bad spirits, and then there's tobacco tobacco's sacred,
Okay.
you know.
And what makes tobacco sacred?
Well, it's, you know, I could talk for hours about what makes tobacco sacred.
And I think I want to rephrase it. What is the sacredness of tobacco? Because really everything is sacred.
Yeah,
So,
it's a special sacred. Just on the simplest level, you take a tobacco and you smoke it,
mhm.
and you blow the smoke out. That is a visible breath going to great mystery, lifting up and going to the sky world. And just on that level, that our breath, you know, we're all breathing together. Plants are breathing, we're breathing, and yet we have a way to see that that's happening, you know. I'm not against all the tobacco companies like a lot of people, but you know, everything in moderation, including the tobacco.
So on the card, what would that, if this were one of your totem animals, and you were doing a meditation on the
Okay.
alligator, what would part of the focus be with the tobacco? To watch your breath, or to be?
Oh no, well, tobaccos are, you know, we also give that away, you know,
Okay.
whenever, like if we take a plant,
Mhm.
give that away. To, you know, we take something, we give something.
And you leave some tobacco.
Right.
Okay.
Like the Sundance, we don't really have, we have nothing. We don't have anything. We belong to Great Spirit. And so that's why they're piercing in the Sundance, because it's like giving close to themselves. And so tobacco's awesome, sacred, relative. There's an old legend about tobacco that tells that death came to take all the human beings and looked around, and it saw all the spirits going up into to the sky and said, oh, I guess that's already happened. So I'll leave. I don't need to come.
Yeah.
That's one old legend about tobacco.
And
then there's also legends that it connects with, you know, with the stars and star people, and which gets into prophecy, which, you know, I don't know that much about, but I just know a little bit.
I was back east and was at a seminar with Barbara Hand Clow. I don't know if you're familiar with her.
I know Barbara.
Yeah, and she talked about the Pleiadian and the connection with our star heritage and all of that. It was really fascinating.
Did you get to know Barbara? Or?
A little bit. If she comes this way, she said she'd probably be on. They used to have a son who lived in Montana, and so they might come out. And they're a really amazing couple. She and her husband Jerry.
Jerry, yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't know you knew them.
it was a lot of fun.
They own Bear Publishing, who published these cards.
Oh, they originally were the ones?
Hmm?
They just announced that they sold it 2 weeks ago.
Right.
Actually, it's 3 now.
Yeah, I just heard from home. I got a letter there from the new owners.
Yeah. It probably will continue to be. Was a great publishing company. They put out a lot of interesting stuff. A lot of interesting books.
And I think, you know, I think Barbara did a lot of that astrologically. She would do readings on the manuscripts.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, I don't want to say that. I mean, I'm not.
I could see that being true, though.
But that's what I believe.
She has so much energy. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And she's an awesome astrologer. She's really wonderful. I think we're going to go to a musical break right now, and it's 9 Pound Hammer, which I guess we could describe as a rockabilly band. I don't want to misrepresent them, but they're very high energy also, and a fun band to listen to. And then we'll come back and we'll do a reading. I'll be blessed with a
Okay.
reading, if that's okay.
Sounds like fun.
Okay. Thanks for being here with us.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
Oh, good. And thanks everybody for watching, and please stay tuned, and we'll be back with David Carson.
Okay.
That's fine. I just hope you're here.
Seven years, long, long time. Had a man I could call on mine. Now he's living far away on an island by the bay. He's pulling on my heartstrings, yeah. There's a hole out in the ocean where hearts bind together with the tide. I'm sitting here, ain't going anywhere. He's pulling on my heartstrings, yeah. Talk today on the phone made me feel so blue and all alone. He put all into the test, even though it's laid to rest. He's pulling on my heartstrings, yeah. There's a hole out in the ocean where hearts bind together with the tide. I'm sitting here, ain't going anywhere. He's pulling on my heartstrings, yeah. Say goodbye, babe, I'll see you in 6 months or so. When I come circle waves, you might be the sand that falls through my hand. You're pulling on my heartstrings, yeah. There's a hole out in the ocean where hearts bind together with the tide. I'm sitting here, ain't going anywhere. He's pulling on my heartstrings, yeah. Hole out in the ocean where hearts bind together with the tide. I'm sitting here, ain't going anywhere. He's pulling on my heartstrings, yeah. I'm sitting here, ain't going anywhere. He's pulling on my heartstrings, yeah. Thank you, Heidi. Thanks a lot. And thank you, MCAT, everybody, for watching. We're 9 Pound Hammer. Let me quick just take a second to introduce everybody up here. My name is Andrea Harcel. Over here on the guitar, Mason Tuttle. Back here on the bass, Adam Sherba. And TK, Tom Kelly here on the mandolin. Next song we're going to do for you is a song that Tom and, who's this guy? Yeah. The Tom and Mason wrote. This is a song about a man that kills for money. And the song is titled The Trigger Man.
Okay. Am I kicking it off?
Well, I could have been a banker or a blacksmith daughter's man. I could have made a young girl smile, but away from her I ran to a dark room without windows, a place for me to hide. Killer and a thief, there's the law that I abide. I was raised in the light. Mama told me keep the path in sight, so I tried to live right. But I was born to kill and born to run all night. ran dry. This would not be the first day that I'd hear a grown man cry for his life that I would soon take. That's how I make my green. And alone the trigger man from west of New Orleans. I was raised in the light. Mama told me keep the path in sight. So I tried to live right. I was born to kill and born to run all night. The marshal and his posse have run me to the ground. My trail here is ended in the slipshod Texas town. Pinned in this old canyon, shots are flying round. There's no way I can win, I know they'll send me down. I was raised in the light. Mama told me to keep the path in sight. So I tried to live right. I was born to kill and born to run all night. Well, I've lived my life a gamble. You'd think that I'd have learned. There is ended, all the tables have been turned. The burning of the gunshots, blue sky turns to fire. Hell awaits the trigger man who used to be for hire. I was raised in the light. Mama told me to keep the path in sight. So I tried to live right. I was born to kill and born to run all night. I was born to kill and born to run all night. Thank you.
All right, so we got one more song to do for you. These are all original songs. This next one here is one that I wrote. This is about Missoula, my friends and family here. This is called Don't Let Me See It Go Down. Let me see him go down. Let me see him go down. There's just something about this place that keeps me from moving on. Sunny on a Tuesday, hands in their pockets, and I'm just trying to stay awake. Birds on a wire, dancing with a fire. Mountains of dreams all in a heap. Am I falling, flying, or to the ocean? Been counting my breaths. Reading minds are like reading mine. Is anybody keeping track?
Thanks. We're back here with David Carson, and I'm going to be getting a card with a reading with the medicine cards. And what's the name of the spread that we'll be doing?
Just a medicine wheel spread.
Okay. And how will we start out?
Well, you know what? Why don't you hold them
Okay.
for just a second?
Okay.
And if you believe in putting energy into things, then put energy into the cards. And you might think of the oneness of creation. That's where these cards come from, you know, that we're all related. And ask for help from the animal powers. Just and then you tell me a question, and I'll try to give you some feedback.
Okay. I'm sort of second guessing myself. I'm trying to imagine how the cards could answer a whole different type of question. But it just feels like a lot of I'll say it how I said it earlier during the break. It feels like a lot of gates are open right now, and I'm not sure the direction I should be taking. And I also said, you know, there are always many opportunities. It just seems like there's somebody behind all the doors knocking right now. They're all more prominent than usual.
So you want you want the cards to tell you something about a possible path that you have, or not necessarily spiritual, but just on any good road, huh?
I don't see them as disconnected.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
But people have a tendency to think that way.
Yeah. Where's the good road? Where's the good road?
So I'll kind of spread the cards out here.
Okay.
And then if you want to start here, this is the east, south, west, north.
Okay.
So we'll you just make a medicine wheel face down. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, and I just pick out cards.
You pick out 4 cards at random. And a lot of people say they have a kind of electricity, you know, the lightning.
Well, this one had a slightly different color that really zoomed out at me.
Okay.
So that's why I'm doing that one. And then for the south, this one. And for the west, this one. And for the north, this one. It's almost like they each have a voice for me. They're almost like saying, hi, me next.
Okay, so if you remember, this is a medicine wheel.
Okay.
And, you know, you're talking about gates. This would be the gate into the medicine wheel in the east.
Okay.
And
just like the rising sun enters. Okay.
So if you think in terms of season, this would be spring, summer, fall, winter.
Okay.
And if you think in terms of human beings, this would be birth, child, adult, elder.
Okay.
Here. And so let's just see what it says. I won't get.
Okay. Okay. And can I have you read them out loud?
Okay, so you have in the east, you have otter.
Okay.
South, you have dragonfly.
Okay.
West, you have mountain lion. And in the north, you have raven.
Okay.
So this tells me, this otter is telling me to tell you to, you know, just, this is feminine energy. And if you've ever watched otters, they're playful, they're having a great time, always. So it's like, so I'm just telling you right off, you know, don't get too serious, have fun with your life. You know.
I rarely otter.
Yeah, yeah, really. That's a good pun. Okay, and then the dragonfly is the medicine of illusion. So when you think of the dragonfly and you think of all the shimmering light on the wings and so this is down in the real world in the South. So this is telling me to tell you that this is a powerful artistic medicine, like creative, like the ability, like I don't know what we're doing right now, but it might be an illusion, sort of.
Okay.
I mean, you're taking a lot of increments and we're in a studio and we're in, Missoula. And we don't know what that is.
Right.
But this is the dragonfly gives you the ability to be an illusionist and to play with that. Remember, otter. You ought to play with that. and then this is leadership. The mountain lion.
Okay.
So it's like, and it's in the west. So it means to ground yourself. It's a great card for a woman because women sometimes maybe less than they used to, but they take a back seat. This is saying to come into your inner world and
Just unplug this until we're ready for calls. Sorry.
come into your inner world and ground that with leadership. That you're the leader of whatever it is, whatever your will is, whatever way you want to go.
Okay.
And then lastly, this is the great magician,
Raven.
transformer, magician. So you can obviously bring magic into people's lives. And this is up in the north. And the north is spirit, but it's also intellect. And the intellect is like cold, like the winter,
Okay.
and cutting, like the flint. So you can put magic out into the world in such a way that it can be, go into cognition, or people can put it, they can see it. And that's a big power. And all these cards, all medicine cards are, everything in creation is powerful. Didn't Einstein say that? And so all these medicines, though, are very powerful, very, I think, specific to your question. And do you have any question about the reading?
Well, I do. And I'll get back to the Raven. But when you said the real world about the South, what does that mean? You mean the consensus world?
Yeah, we don't know, like I said, we're in Missoula. We don't know what that is. Do you know what Missoula is? I don't. It's a town and
Right.
it's buildings and it's people, but where is it, and how could you really define it? I use the word, it's a city.
Right.
But really, what is that?
It's an idea.
Yeah, it's an idea. And that's how we function. You say, oh, I'm driving up to Canada. Wow, think of that. But, Canada's our idea. We go up there, It's this arbitrary boundary. We cross it, we're in Canada, And so that's what I mean by consensus, everyday world. It's our operational pinnings, how we function.
Would any of this have to do with dancing?
What kind of dancing, like?
Belly dancing.
Sure. Are you into that?
I teach. Yeah.
I have a friend named Maya, I met her at the Dead Sea in a Bedouin tent. And she is one, and she's in the States.
Is
and
she?
I'm going to tell her to come see because she is one incredible belly dancer.
Oh, I'd love to have her on.
I never saw anything like that. She has snake medicine. She told me she did.
Yeah.
And you can see it when she dances.
Does she dance with snakes?
You know, I think she told me she has.
Mhm.
I know she's been to India and a lot, and she's Moroccan. You know, she's Jewish, but she grew up in Morocco, and she just, you know, that's been her life, is dancing.
Mhm.
And really strong, powerful lady.
I've had dreams of getting snakes to dance with,
Wow.
of dancing with them. My,
Well, do you think that's metaphor or real, or both?
both. Both.
S-
The only thing is as a vegetarian, I have issues about feeding them live rats, but
They don't have any issues.
I know they don't. They don't have
Their
any.
consensus is different.
Yes, it's very different.
But you know, snakes are the most balanced of all animal energies. Like the Qigong masters, they're working with male and female energy and how to balance it.
Mhm.
And so you can look to snake for balancing and Shakti and big medicine.
Yeah, their whole body feels the beat of the earth. They're amazing creatures.
Want to take one for the center? I'm just kind of curious.
Oh, okay. Should I turn it over?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Horse, wow. Well, horse is medicine of power. I think this is a big horse country all in through here.
It is.
And but you're probably a pretty centered person,
Mhm.
and pretty balanced, huh?
Mhm.
Well, that's a very good card to have in the center of the medicine wheel.
And that's the within? Or is that above or
That's
below?
the center of this wheel, of your
Okay.
question.
Okay.
Just, you have the power, so why are you worried about the question? You know what I mean?
Okay. I'm laughing because I have a Sagittarius moon, and to me this is like the heart of the
Yeah.
wheel, and you know the centaur being my moon, my heart. So, it also immediately brings up the travel question for me. I'd like to take the show on the road and
Oh.
travel with it. I almost feel like I should tell you all the gates that I see in front of me to get it. Would that help?
Sure.
So continuing the show, trying to take it to other
Other levels?
other levels, right? We're thinking about having it go on the website, maybe live, so we could get live call-ins from all around the world if we wanted.
Well, this card could definitely be other, and remember, it's our consensus.
Oh,
This
okay.
could definitely be many, many, many levels.
Huh. So like the website and
Yeah.
okay. And then teaching dance more, canning it all and just being a 100% mom again. So these are all options.
I doubt you'll do that.
She gets a kick out of working here too.
Yeah.
She raps chords and stuff. We're going to put her on the credits pretty soon.
And she probably wouldn't like that 100% mom. That's my guess.
Yeah. But this is telling me that if, I don't know how to completely put this as a question. So for instance, you were telling me about the sun dance and the difficulty in that, creating big spiritual gains through suffering. And for a while when I first found out about metaphysics, you know, you hear that one, the tale of your path, everything will feel just right and it'll sort of glide and you won't have too many snags. And of course that's not working really for anybody right now on the planet.
No?
And so when it says have fun, now I'm like,
I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
kind of gliding around.
Are you gliding around?
Sure.
I'm glad to hear you're gliding around. But it almost sounds like if there are big snags that I should kind of drop that approach because it's not fun.
Yeah, everything in here in these cards is easy.
It's easy.
You know, as long as you're centered and your power and you know what you want and you go for it.
Okay.
And you keep it on a level of fun and happiness and
Okay.
if you know if it gets weird, then go in another direction. But
Okay.
I don't think it will. I think there's plenty of medicine here that tells me you can do your dream.
Okay. And
But like anything else, this is medicine. You have to do it.
mhm.
You know, you can't just say, "Oh, okay." David said, "No, you have to engage and
Right.
make it happen."
And to tell you the truth, the phone distracted me a little bit while you were describing the mountain lion. So this is the within,
Yes.
this is your
in the West.
intuition,
Right.
and you also said the
Dream.
shadow self.
Remember, it's
Dream time.
dreams,
Okay.
goals, ambitions, or what your question
Okay.
is about, and it's saying you have personal authority to take responsibility for your life and make it whatever you want, and you have a lot of supporting medicine to do that.
Okay. And I think we'll focus on the horse. Can you do the, what do you call the items hanging from the shield?
That's good. Items hanging from the
Okay.
shield.
Why don't we do a deeper level of the horse then? And before we start that, being the center card means that,
Just remember that you have a lot of power.
okay, all right,
It's almost a given. And you know, also power is something you have to be careful with. You know, because you can run over people, hurt their feelings, and I don't think you're going to do that.
I try not to.
Yeah.
Although you were talking about Missoula earlier, and I actually have a birth chart from Missoula, which has a little bit of a definition. It's still an idea, because it's when the charter was signed, and it's a very Piscean town, double Pisces with a Cancer rising, and people are very sensitive here, so I do end up hurting people's feelings sometimes unintentionally. Yeah. Okay. So.
Well, these are, you know, you can think of these as shields too. So you can use them in that sense. You know, they're shielding. They're like if someone, like if you would happen to be in a confrontation with someone, just remember your shield. You know, in that sense. Remember that this is what taught us to live. You know, animal medicine. There's a story about in the beginning of the world, we were all cold and hungry and naked, and then the maker of life came, the master of breath, and when the maker of life breathed, it lit up the world. And some of these people, they went off with the eagle or the horse or the mountain lion. So we all have our clans, which are like the medicine cards. They're animals.
Okay.
And they taught us how to live and survive. And so, you know, we have all these animals within us for maybe millions of years. You know, they've been shamanized and taught us.
What does
And we-
shamanized mean?
Shamanized means courted for power,
Okay.
called to, and used. Like if you wanted to learn how to catch fish like a bear, you could watch the bear. How's the bear do it? And then you could learn it. Or like the squirrel, you know, you could learn how to gather different foods, store them away. are like an ant, you know. You can learn how to go into the lower world and
And carry 3 times your weight, or
Huh?
whatever. Or carry, what is it, 10 times your weight as well.
right. So, and this is the great transformer that taught you how to. There's a really, I heard a great Lakota story about the bird tribes, and great spirit said, I have a difficult job for you bird people, and what I want you to do is eat the dead. And said the eagle, I want you to decide who's going to do that. And the eagle said, oh, I'm a warrior. I'm too important. And the hawk said, you know, I'm the dog soldier. I'm not going to. And sparrow said, I'm too little. And then it was the condor said, and the buzzard family that said, well, we'll do that. And Great Spirit said, well, in this world, people are going to fear you. But when they come up here to my world, you're going to be next to me. So, and Raven kind of follows it. Raven's always pecking on a rabbit carcass. Transformer. Wiskaya Jack, they call Raven.
Wiskaya Jack?
Yeah, up in Canada.
There were 3 on a tree. We came back from our vacation and flew into Seattle. A long story, but our car got towed and we were looking all over in the streets for our car near my cousin's house. And I turned a corner and one raven was just cawing and cawing at me, and then 2 more came and they were just talking to me nonstop, and I stopped to hear what they were saying, and maybe they were telling me to quit looking for the car, partly, but it was a pretty intense conversation those guys were having. And they didn't follow me. They all came just to gather and talk. And I like the way, if you watch like along the river, especially at the fall when there are no leaves, you'll have one tree that just has all the ravens on it. They have these big councils.
Right.
I'm sort of adopting a word here, but it seems like a council to me.
No, it is a council.
And they talk about all the stuff that's going on in the river and who knows what else. And it's very intense energy going on. And I'll see it too, driving through the desert. They'll all be on one electric pole, or, you know, you'll go for miles, there won't be any, and then all of a sudden there'll be 20 or something. They're really awesome animals. And
well, that's really good to encounter the real. Like I just was up in the buffalo ranges up here. It's really good to encounter the real animal and try to figure out what they're saying and what they're trying to teach us and learn from them.
And does it help to talk about my experiences with the animals? Like,
With what?
my experiences with the animals?
Sure.
I mean, I know they have an ancient identity, meaning,
Sure.
for instance, on our vacation we were canoeing and I was showing my daughter the dragonflies that were
Right.
showing up, because they're just beautiful. And to me, they've sort of mastered time travel, because they're here, and then I imagine that they think about being here, and then they're there.
Yeah.
It's almost as if they don't go that space.
They are an illusion in themselves.
They are?
You know, the government spent a lot of money studying the dragonfly.
No, I
How
didn't
does
know
it
that.
fly?
Really?
And all their engineers and everything came back. It can't, but it does. So,
But I just love how they're there, and then all of a sudden you'll see in the peripheral, they're there,
Right.
and that one's gone. And and then the shimmering of the wings is amazing, really beautiful. So I said we'd focus on the horse to get to. We'll do one card at that deeper level. I mean, we've already gone pretty deep into all of these, but as far as the items and the numerology,
what is the numerology there?
I think it's a 35.
Which
I know
is an 8.
I asked you to take off your
Which
glasses.
is an 8.
Oh, okay.
And that's infinity symbol,
Okay.
and which tells us a lot about our mortality, and you know that we're going to another round of being, and you know, horses really. Well, I better not talk about that. But horses, you know, some of the names of native people, that was a real big medicine name. Like
Crazy horse?
chasing horse.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to say that. But,
Oh.
but and then, you know, these, you have tobacco, you have an arrowhead.
Okay.
That's direction, you know. Where am I going? You know.
Like the rear view
Yeah.
mirror coming off
Yeah.
of my car is only straight away after that.
So you have 2 arrowheads, so that's a lot of direction. And you have the seashell, and then you have a feather, you know, the upper world. Feathers are upper world.
And then there's an acorn.
Acorn, well, acorn tells us, there's a great old story, a parable of the acorn, where an acorn was born and said the essence of life is oakness, but all the other acorns said, no, it isn't. It's to have a shiny shell. And then the acorn fell to earth and became the great oak tree. So it teaches us many lessons, that little acorn.
The transformation, the potential. I love the whole metaphor for seeds in general. But this one, there's a real breakthrough to become an oak. And then some of them have like a little red
It's coral,
strip.
isn't it?
Is that what that is?
Yeah, I think so.
That red strip?
Oh no, that's just a tie on there. Like red is, you know, means a lot. You have, like in some ceremonies, you have red and black and white and yellow, and it's the 4 races of humanity.
Oh, okay. As well as the 4 directions, right?
4 directions, symbolizes all people.
And the red is south?
Some wheels, yeah, most wheels.
And the Choctaw is the red south?
You know, I don't really, you know, we had squares. We had town squares, and we had different kinds of dwellings. And medicine wheel, you know, I learned from Plains people. And when I was a kid, you know, they were teaching me that. And actually, I learned a lot about the medicine wheel here in this state, Montana.
Really?
Yeah, I used to live in Lame Deer.
Okay.
And then I knew a lot of legendary people that today are, you know, there's books about them. I knew Tom Yellowtail and John Trujillo, and who brought the Sundance back.
Oh, okay.
So he was an old kind of holy man, way I see it. Both of them, Tom and John.
And I think there's some dances being held right now.
Powwows?
Outside of Helena. Joe Kennedy?
I don't know. Oh, I heard. Was he in the paper?
He was. It started
Yeah,
today.
I heard
and the
he's
next 3
awesome.
days.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
He's absolutely awesome, and bringing back the old ways, you know, which probably these are the times that should happen.
It feels right.
I mean, the prophecies being what they are.
I'm going to connect the phone and let people know that we are live right now, Sunday, July 23rd. And if anyone would like to call in, please do, with any question you have for David Carson, the author of the medicine cards. And the number here is 542-6228. It's 542-MCAT. And again, anybody feel welcome to call. have about 20 minutes left. We'll go till 9:30 with David. And it's 542-6228. And I wanted to ask you a little bit about the times. And I haven't heard that you're, like Thomas Banyakya. I don't think you're one of the keepers of prophecy, but as far as your own experience with what's going on in the planet, could you give me any insight?
Well, my Lakota friends tell me that according to their prophecy, when the buffalo is bald and standing on one leg, that there's going to be a great change upon the earth, and they say that that's now. And whether, there's always been people saying stuff, but anybody with a brain can look at the weather, can look at the way things are changing. And maybe, this earth we gotta quit doing what we're doing. Gotta quit cutting down forests. And might be hard, change is always hard, but I think we have to. That's what I think.
We were just back in Ohio, right on the edge of Amish country, and they're wonderful farmers. It's beautiful land.
Yeah, I've known a lot of Amish.
Yeah, but even as beautiful as it was, I just kept remembering how many trees were lost to create all those farms. I was glad to come back to Montana where we have most of our forests left. Some environmentalists will probably call me and tell me that I'm wrong about that, but there's just trees everywhere here.
It's a beautiful, awesome land. So we went over yesterday to the Mission Mountains, and today I was there picking berries, and we went to that mission over there, St. Ignatius, and just looking around, 9 Pipes, and what a blessing, and what big medicine you have here in this Montana, and it makes me miss it. I lived here, and it makes me miss Montana.
Yeah, after all of our traveling and hopping back to Seattle and driving through, as soon as probably about half an hour getting into Montana, I just felt my aura expand and expand and expand. I was like, oh, I can get my breath back. It's amazing, just the energy difference coming into this state. And I wanted to ask you, going back to the buffalo, so what is the bald buffalo standing on one leg?
Well, that's an old, there were prophets all through Native America.
Okay.
Telling what's going to come, what's going to be in the future. That's what the Mayan calendar is all about. There was it wasn't like they tell you in the history books. There was great empires here, and all the way up to the North Pole, all the way down to Tierra del Fuego. And there were great peoples. In fact, when I think about it, I have a hard time wondering what it is that so-called Western civilization brought here that's so good that, that replaces the old ways. I don't know what it is. I really don't. Maybe there were some things the matter with old Native America, but I think, to me it was a beautiful way of healthy life, and it's sad to see what's happened to Native America. I'm not any kind of spokesperson for Native America, but people really ought to honor those old voices, this land.
Well, we're certainly lacking any wisdom from the white elders, that's for sure.
Well, you got Kmart. I'm not saying those things. Standard Oil. And I'm guilty. I drive a car and read the papers, and trees fall for that. But I'm willing to change if someone could tell me how to live better. I'll do it.
It reminds me of the quote of Gandhi's. That somebody, an interview asked him, "What do you think of Western civilization?" And he said, "I think it would be a wonderful idea."
Yeah, maybe it would be.
But astrologically speaking, we do have an opening here where people with different technologies working with the planet and, you know, honoring the planet are available. It is possible that, and I can see already the heightened ecological consciousness. People thought
Yeah,
it was
there's a
kind
lot
of
of-
over in the 80s, and it's just totally re-blossoming. And
Yeah, there's a lot of pretty serious people coming along that have knowledge of the system and how it functions, and really that's what you need.
if you could talk to somebody that had a say in the way we treat the planet, let's just put Clinton out there as an example, a hypothetical example, how would you tell him about the way we act so superior to the Earth and the other beings?
Well, I doubt I'll ever have the opportunity to talk to Bill, but and I don't think he has that much power. Not really. I think
That's why I
he's-
said hypothetically.
Yeah, I think he's on the. You know, I think he works for big major
Yeah.
corporations and people giving money, and but you know, if he could go around and make a plea that, you know, we change our lifestyles, and that's just not going to happen. It's not a politician.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I don't like? Like, we had a fire where I'm from in Santa Fe,
Mm-hmm.
and immediately some government liar I shouldn't say that, but really got on television and said, "Oh, this is great. You know, this is not a problem. We have everything. Everything's kicked in, and there's no danger to the environment." And you could just see that they were paid liars,
Yeah.
and that's what I don't like. And maybe that's what politicians are, you know, paid liars. I'm not sure.
You wouldn't have been the first one to say it.
Yeah.
And there are always excuses. People will say that the journalists don't do their homework and they're just repeating words that have been given to them. And so maybe that goes back into the whole thing about really almost anybody can make a difference.
Yeah, I think anybody that wants to do something can do it. Like, you'd be surprised how much power, like I come from Oklahoma, and I got educated in a certain way, and then there's Clinton that comes over there from Arkansas, you know, probably got about the same kind of education, and yet he's the president. I'm a writer, you know, and I can see that you can just about do anything you set your mind to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that you can influence the whole planet, you know, to do things, because everybody has their own will and free will. But just as an individual, you can really be counted in this world, I think. Anybody. That's what I believe.
And I wanted to let people know again, they can call 542-6228 if anyone has any questions for David. It's a great opportunity.
Anybody out there?
It's been a lot of years since you've been here, so you may not get another chance for a while. It's 542-MCAT if anybody has any questions. And
Yeah.
I wanted to, you brought it up, and it's something I thought about a week ago, knowing you were coming, is it called the Los Alamos fire?
Yes.
Is that right? Now, my understanding is that where that fire took place is old dumping grounds.
Right.
And there's a lot of nasty
There's a
radiated
lot of
stuff in there.
There's a lot of people with Geiger counters, and they say that it's not too bad, but the real worry is the aquifers. That, you know, there was stuff buried underground there that burned for a month and a half after the major fire was out.
Oh, okay.
So that's the major worry, that it gets into the Rio Grande and goes down through New Mexico, and you know, goes through the bird sanctuaries and down, you know, down into Brownsville, Texas, and out into the Gulf. So that wouldn't be good.
So you don't think there was much risk from the
Oh, I think
smoke?
that a lot of people got sick, and a lot of people left, you know, just took off.
They did?
And, yeah.
Did you hang out, or were you?
Well, the wind wasn't blowing directly toward my house, so I kind of hung out. But the smoke and everything sort of lingered around for a few days. And
Because just a regular house fire reeks to high heaven. I mean,
yeah.
We have lots of toxic stuff in our houses, but not like the radiation in Los Alamos.
You wonder sometime if that isn't kind of like that biblical stuff, because there's Los Alamos caught on fire, and then the labs in Berkeley, didn't they catch on fire? And they, you know,
It did.
you wonder if someone up there isn't trying to, you know, put a word in about what we're doing here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just overall, including the genetic manipulation of food, and our technology just seems so far out of control. There really doesn't seem to be any ethical break on any of it. It's like, oh, we can do something new and let's go do it over and over. And like I said, there just doesn't seem to be any ethics or morality behind the action.
When I was over in Switzerland, in Geneva,
Mm-hmm.
I went to it's 9 Via Date, that was the address, and it's where Mary Shelley wrote Frankenstein. I thought, I better go there, because it's a good metaphor for this age that's coming. So I have a little rock from there that I have home by my typewriter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the way it's going, isn't it? Franken food and
Mm-hmm.
Franken lives and genetics.
Yeah. Can I ask you, as an individual or culturally, where's the rainbow? What's the positive that comes out of all of this?
Well, you know that Lakota term, that Mataquiasan, all my relations. Have you ever heard that?
No, I
They
haven't.
say it a lot.
I've heard all my
in their
relations.
rituals. Mataquiasan. And, you know, you either believe that or you don't. You know, we're either all related, you know, with the animals, with the plants, the mountains,
Mm-hmm.
rivers, or not. But I believe we are. Mataquiasan. Oh. I think we ought to try to live to that level of understanding if we can.
Somebody else will pick it up to make sure it's
Oh.
for you. And so could that possibly be why this has all happened, that we're such a hard-headed culture that we have to be beaten over the head to get this message? But that we really have to get it?
I think, you know, we're culture, we're Western design,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to have to live with that design until it, you know, changes. You know, other cultures weren't designed particularly
Mm-hmm.
this way, and some good, some bad.
We do have a question for you on the line. Hello, caller, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I don't really have a question. I've been sitting there watching and thinking of questions so that I could call and ask a question while I have the opportunity tonight. So a question hasn't come forward. However, David, I wanted to thank you for being on the show and sharing so much light. Your messages have meant a lot to me and have given me a lot of food for thought.
Well, thanks for calling in.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you.
so long.
And we have a lot of shy viewers, so we haven't been getting a lot of calls, obviously. 542-6228. We have about 3 more minutes if anybody has a call, and I really encourage you to ask him. Oh, maybe 5 minutes. My clock is off here. To call David, 542-6228. If you have any comments or questions, if you'd like to ask about a specific animal that you're interested in that may or may not be in the deck, but David might have a message about it. If any,
Might know something about it.
yeah, if any animal feels close to you, this would be a really great time to ask David. He's not doing any readings in town as far as I know, so I'm honored.
Well,
that
I
you've-
did a few little readings.
Oh,
but-
good. But you're on your way out pretty soon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
heading back to New Mexico.
And do you do readings down there?
No.
No.
No, well, I used to, and I don't know, I mean, I don't know why. It's just complicated to keep books and all that, so I quit.
Yeah. And are you writing right now? Are you writing something new?
I'm writing a little book for a seminar
Okay.
with the medicine cards.
Oh, good.
I'm going to take it to England and maybe use it this summer.
And let's see what question we have here. Hello, caller, are you there?
Yes. I have your deck that where you pick a daily animal spirit. It's a small deck of the medicine deck.
Would you mind turning down your TV, please, or just standing further away from it?
Sure.
Thanks.
And certain ones come up often, but one that I had never gotten came up recently after I'd kind of been through a spiritual journey, and it was the wolf card. I was wondering if you could tell me a little more about the wolf spirit.
Well, I could tell you that that could relate to your teachers, and that could be teachers in the world, or that could be your inner, your inner guides, in the lodge of the self. So I don't know what's going on in your life, but
Well, I had just been to the Rainbow Gathering and seen a lot of old family and reached out a lot to the earth and prayer and praying for world peace, and the wolf totem came up for me, and I was just wondering a little more what significance that might have.
well, wolf is also the pathfinder, so it could be helping you, find your road in the world, and the wolf has been down every trail, so.
And I'm starting to see that happen too, that can be very metaphorical. You don't have to go journey around the world to find new paths. It can be right here.
Truly.
But I really enjoy your cards, and I want to thank you.
Well, thank you for calling.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. That was great. And we have time for one more call, I think. So it's 542-6228. It's 542-MCAT. And if you don't do it now, we're gonna tie it up. Thank you so much for being here, David.
Thank you for having me, Heidi. I really enjoyed it.
Anytime you're back in Big Sky Country, please give us a call. Stop by.